take a look at it. You say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that. Because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Rolling along here. Thanks to George Kurtz for joining us. Our boy Dave Delano's going to step up and in a couple of moments. Should be with us now, actually. So let me know when Dave is in and ready to go. So second half right now, Cam. Second half plays. You're going with Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I like that Dallas Goedert play. He's at 49. He needs six. That's actually, I got 66.5. It's on FanDuel. They just moved it to 68.5. Still like it. I don't care. What's he need? He needs basically 19 yards, 20 yards now, but it was 19. I'm down with Dallas Goedert. Gabe, he's already got 4 catches for 49. I think it's going to be a Goddard game. He's been open all game. Perk's got to find him.
I'm going to go with Justin Herbert over 193.5 passing yards. It's gone up 1 yard. But I think he's going to have to throw. I think the Eagles are going to take the lead eventually in this game. And we talked about the total, and I'm on the under. I got the under 40.5. I took it in game like a couple of minutes in type of deal. So I got the under 40.5. I have it teased. I got the Eagles on a teaser. It's under 49.5. And I hate middling games. But I do think this is going to go over. I think it's going to go over 35.5. So I'm going to jump in here. Let's go over 35.5 here. I think we're going to get up to, like I said, both teams score a touchdown. That's 14 with the extra point if they don't miss. Both teams get a touchdown. Both teams kick a field goal. And that's 20 points. Right there. That's 20 points, and that gets us to 36. It's 35.5 right now. So, yeah, I'm pulling the trigger. Let's bring in Dave Delano. Long time since we've had Dave on the program, about 24 hours or so. Dave, second half has just kicked off right now. What do you think about the second half numbers? What do you think happens in this game?
Well, I took the Eagles, to win the game before it started. And it's obviously they're right there, but not really loving what I'm seeing so far. Both quarterbacks look a bit nervous. Obviously, I understand with Herbert, with the offensive line and obviously dealing with that hand injury. But Jalen Hurts, this guy just really is kind of in a category of his own, as far as even going back to college.
Category of his own. That was amazing, Dave. That's great.
He's having a rough year. Let's put it there. He's having a rough year. There's no
Yeah, it's exact. You just don't know what to make of him. That's a lot of this, in this game with the interception, getting it back, fumbling, and even the that play calling at the end of the half. Elliott struggled this season as a field goal kicker. I mean, a lot of times special teams gets overlooked. I mean, I know they were throwing. I mean, the pass play. I mean, you weren't really going to get a touchdown.
It was a wasted play. I said just run the ball up the middle, pick up 5 yards, call a timeout after, right?
Exactly. Especially got a kicker struggling like that. I mean, getting it to 40 yards or 41 versus 42. I mean, that was big. I mean, it's like I said, it's 10-6, but you got the Chargers with the ball. It feels like a lot more points than this, and this is kind of a weird game. I mean, it doesn't feel like a game between two playoff contenders. It really just doesn't.
No, it's been ugly. 6 turnovers in the first half.
It's ridiculous, Dave. And then you're at the 2-yard line. You got Barkley, and then you're throwing crazy plays, and you're taking a holding penalty. And then what are the Eagles doing? That's the whole thing. Like they're leaving so many damn points on the board, and it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm on them too.
So what about props, Dave, in this game? Any second half props, or what players are you keeping your eye on here? I just jumped in. I already have a Saquon Barkley over 87.5. He's at 69 right now. And I jumped in on Justin Herbert, believing that, not that it's going to be fluid, because nothing's been fluid about this game, but we saw, they popped off from the big screen play before. I figure that at some point he'll start, he'll complete a couple of passes before we're all said and done. And I only need 104 yards in the second half here from him. There's a completed pass here right now as we speak. So any player props or in-game props for you, Dave?
Yeah, this was a tough one with me for props because I didn't really expect it to be a lot of touchdowns in this game. I did take Jalen Hurts.
It was a tough prop game.
I did take Jalen Hurts over for the 31.5 rushing, which has been exactly where he's been the last 3 games. But I didn't expect him to have much passing success as we've seen so far. He hasn't. But I thought that he would generate a little more with his legs. I mean, those rushing props are always tough because obviously one run he could break it open, but it's not looking good so far for the Eagles. Any Eagles props outside of Saquon Barkley, he's having that pretty good big breakthrough game, at least yardage wise. But that's really the only prop for me. I thought this would probably be a high field goal game coming in.
Chargers are moving the ball. They just picked up a first down. They're on the Eagles side of the 50-yard line right now to start the second half. Well, the clock is ticking. We're already at the 11.5-minute mark right now. So, Dave, any other action for you tonight? We've been focused in on the football games, on the football and the college football playoff talk. But as far as the NHL is concerned, a scoreboard check right now, guys. The Toronto Maple Leafs lead the Tampa Bay Lightning 1-0 late in the third period. Only 5 minutes remaining in the game. Low-scoring night tonight in the NHL. And in fact, the Calgary Flames have a 2-0 lead on the Buffalo Sabres. Although the second period just started there, the total is 6.5 in that hockey game. The LA Kings lead Utah 2-0 after the first period. Total is 5.5 right now there. Vancouver and Detroit are getting ready to drop the puck, as are Minnesota and Seattle. Cam, I know you had some late hockey plays. What about Detroit and Vancouver?
Yeah, I think, Detroit's one of those teams that I think they can go into Vancouver and win that game. It's a very short price at 20 cents, Gabe. My dog of the night, I'm going to take the Seattle Kraken. I know actually they lost to Detroit 4-3 in a heartbreaker. I think they break the streak tonight. Also, when you look at the goaltender, Grubauer, 4-0-1, his save percentage is just under 9. But it's funny, when he's in net for the Kraken, they seem to win instead of Joey Decord. I'm getting 25 cents. It's been bet down to 15 cents. Kind of concerned, but I like the Seattle Kraken tonight, Gabe. That's my game, and I lean to the Detroit Red Wings. I don't know what you're taking.
I'm going to take I'll take the Detroit Red Wings and the Vancouver Canucks over 1.5 in the first period. Over 1.5 in the first period. We got cute the other night, and we took the under in the Canuck game, and we actually won despite the fact that the Canucks are just an over machine on the season. The Canucks are 17-9-3 to the over on the year, but the unders are starting to pop up right now for this team. They have a hard time scoring goals, and here's Justin Herbert rushing for a big gain right now. But Vancouver are coming off a rare win. They've really been sliding. They're coming off a 4-2 win. They only gave up 2 goals. They lost 4-1 to Utah. That was an only 5-goal game. Colorado 3-1. LA 2-1. You notice things have sort of slowed down with them a little bit, but I think against a Detroit team that can put the puck in the net, they're 16-9 to the over on the season. and you look at their current form, they've been scoring 4 or 5 goals a game. I like the over 1.5 in the first period here. So I think there will be goals early. Dave, did you play any NHL hockey tonight?
Just the Calgary Flames. I mean, that one now going into the second period, they're up 2-0.
Nice start.
Pretty much everything's underway. Now looking at, tomorrow we get some ugly basketball games today that have wrapped up. I didn't play any of them, but looking at the NBA Cup quarterfinals for tomorrow, I do like the Raptors tomorrow as a 4.5-point underdog against the Knicks. I mean, they have been playing really well. 3-game losing streak, had a tough loss to the Lakers and a loss to the Celtics. They had a loss to the Hornets kind of sandwiched in between there, but it was right off. It was the second day coming off of a tough loss to the Lakers. I think that this is going to be a game for Toronto that would really mean a lot. They're getting 4.5 points. I think that we're getting a little bit of a tax there on the Knicks. So I do like the Toronto Raptors for tomorrow, and also kind of leaning on whenever the Orlando Magic and Miami Heat play, it almost seems like it's a bit of a toss-up, but leaning on the Magic as well. Liked what they've been doing. Spoelstra's been doing a great job with the Heat having this position, but tomorrow in the NBA, looking at the Raptors and looking at the Orlando Magic as well.
I have a future on the Toronto Raptors to win the NBA Cup at 14-1. It kind of crept up on us, but yeah, the NBA Cup is tomorrow night. We'll get more. We'll hit this some more on the other side. The Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic tomorrow night. It's the Eastern Conference tomorrow night. Knicks and Raptors. And you get the Suns and Thunder and Spurs and Lakers on Wednesday.
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live continues, as does one of the strangest football games that we've seen this year. It's just this bizarre world, this football game. So as we were going into the break before, the Chargers were lining up for a field goal during the commercial break. Just when we went to the break, they got the field goal, but there was a penalty on the Eagles. So they took the 3 points off the board. The Chargers said, well, why not? Let's take the ball at the 10-yard line. So the Chargers take the ball at the 10-yard line, but now the Chargers are going backwards. like it's just, it really is. And Dave, you said it a couple of minutes ago. I thought it was funny the way you said it. He goes, really doesn't feel like these two teams are like elite teams, like here, like they're supposed to be. Like we're watching these teams. They're both 8-4 teams. They kind of look like 4-8 teams, don't they? Not 8-4 teams, 4-8 teams.
Yeah, this is one of those. I'm never going to complain about sitting here talking to you guys watching football, but doesn't this game feel? It's got to for you, Gabe. I mean, doing this all the time each night. Doesn't this one of those games that feels a little more like work than?
You know what? I kind of knew. I knew coming in that this was going to be this way. I was prepared for this. I was prepared for it. To be honest with you, the time that I've complained and cried the most is when the Jets are on TV. And I don't like doing Jet, Patriot, or Chief games either. The Chiefs just ball. I've been under so many Chief games. Like, I'm so glad. Like, I've been, at the Super Bowl and Media Row every year, and I'm just sick of it. Like, you know what I mean? In my lifetime at Super Bowls, I've talked about two teams every year. Like, I've done the same interview 50 million times. So, Patrick Mahomes, it's like, so, what am I say? Andy Reid. I was talking about Andy Reid. Like, let's talk. Before, it was like, so Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, at least, like, give me a fresh matchup. Like, you know what I mean? There's like, but this one, whatever. I bet the under as well. But yeah, I will admit, guys, this game is worse than I thought it was going to be, though. Because, this is pretty bad.
Oh, me too.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard you. I think that's the first time I've heard you take an under in one of these NFL games.
I did last night as well, Dave. I've come around on it.
Yeah.
Hey, when Gabe hammers the under, man, you better pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like the DeSecchi's guy. When I do it means I must really like it.
Yeah.
The DeSecchi's guy.
I don't like doing it in basketball. I hate betting unders in basketball, but football, the NFL, I kind of do. But honestly, guys, you know why? Because the NFL, kind of, these teams are so bad. They can't score. I know as an over better, I finally lost enough betting overs that I was like, you know what? Instead of just losing money on the over, I'll just bet on the under. They're not going to score that many points, right? Like last night, I was like, how the hell are the Chiefs going to score on this Texan team? And they couldn't, right? And kind of the same thing tonight. I was like, how are these teams going to go up and down the field on each other? And then, of course, the first play of the game is a damn screenplay for like 60 yards. But it really has slowed down right now. But, Dave, we didn't really get a full chance to talk about the college football playoff situation last night. Looking at the games that are on the board right now in the playoffs, are you going to bet which game did you like most for betting purposes as far as the spread is concerned?
Yeah, I think that off the top, and I hate really saying it when it looks so obvious like that, but I do like Oregon and that James Madison game.
Well, you got to bet. Let me just throw this in here. You got to bet it now, everybody, for betting the Ducks. Look, it was 20.5 yesterday. There's 21.5. By the time we kick off that game, I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon are like 24.5 point favorites, Dave. I'm not kidding. This number is just going to climb and climb and climb.
I'm also not. I know it's a home game. It's a tough place to play, but man, I don't know about Texas A&M. They're also a tough thing. I think Miami, not that Miami needed any more of an edge, but, so much of a talk about they didn't deserve it, over Notre Dame, even though they beat Notre Dame head to head. I think that's one of those games I could see going either way. So I do see definitely some value there with the Hurricanes getting 4 points. I don't think that Texas A&M is still a program that's hard to trust. I know they went undefeated till that last game against Texas, and they were in control for a lot of that first half. So Texas A&M is still a program hard to trust against the Canes. I think that Miami team is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. So that's what I'm looking at too, at the Miami +4 as well.
So we've got a 13-6 game and another fumble. Oh, my God. But they recovered it. You can't make this up. Like, the Eagles are fumbling every time they touch the ball now. Like, everybody's fumbling. They just fumbled the kickoff.
Oh, my God. They're
but
so lucky to get it
somehow
back,
the ball bounced right back to him. Like it bounced off someone's knee and fell back to Covey. Wow. Man, this game. This is like a bad college game.
It's awful.
There's not many of these
unreal.
turnovers in a MAC game.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like seriously, like you watch Toledo and Akron play, it's not this bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like every play, it's like, oh my God, another turnover. So hard to believe, guys. But what's that?
It's amazing how many of these games. I was saying it's amazing how many of these games you see, you know, with the kick returns or the fumbles or the dropping the ball on punt return. So many of these little things week after week, especially lately, that decide games that don't really jump out at you when you're looking at the stats and handicapping these games.
Yeah. You throw, everybody with their plans in the game script. It's worse with MMA. People, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. You speak to a fighter in real life. What's the plan? Not to get punched in the face. Like, that's the plan.
Exactly.
A lot of these guys, like, they don't have, but people online and handicappers, he's going to take them down. He's going to do this, he can do that. Yeah. It's like, you don't know, dude. It's a fight. Like, buddy, you know what I mean? The plan is don't get kicked in the head. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, they don't, people think like they have some chart. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's like, no, man. Like, you don't know what the other guy's going to do. So, like, you know, it's like God itself. Like the saying is, you know, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. But the bowl season starts on Saturday. So Boise State and Washington. I like, you know, listen, there's the bowl season's off and running this Saturday with the LA Bowl. Boise State and Washington in Los Angeles at SoFi. The Washington Huskies are 8.5-point favorites. The total is 51.5. And then bowl season begins for real on Tuesday the 16th. Troy, Jacksonville State. Pretty good Troy team, actually. That's actually a pretty good bowl game, Troy and Jacksonville State. Nobody will care about it, but it's both these teams are pretty good. I think Troy...
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, there's a long field goal for us. The prop I was 49.5 tonight, which I thought was light. For, you know, you consider the game is indoors. Dicker, the kicker, the Chargers kicker is really good. The Eagles kicker is hit or miss. Elliott, as we saw, he shanked one earlier, but he shanked a 48-yarder. He just made a 54-yarder this time. So we hit the long field goal prop to the over. And we get a step closer with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's now 13-9 in this football game. They're getting 3.5 points right now. The total is exactly what it was at the half, 35.5. Dave Delano kicking with us right now for a couple of more minutes, so we'll get Dave out of here. So a lot of talk about the college football playoffs, but the bowl season is set to begin on Saturday. We got the Army-Navy game too, but looking at some of these bowl numbers, you get your typical sort of, bowl games that, between teams that, no one really care about. If you're looking for the high-profile matchups, there are a couple of good ones. Michigan are playing Texas in the Citrus Bowl. BYU and Georgia Tech is a good one. Clemson and Penn State, you got Blue Bloods playing against each other. And, you got some random interesting ones. Pittsburgh and East Carolina. That's a weird one right there. Army and UConn. UConn lost their coach. Fresno State and Miami of Ohio. North Texas, San Diego State. So there's actually some interesting ones. LSU and Houston, Dave, is I know a game you got your eye on. And the game is in Houston. Houston Cougars are 3-point favorites.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good spot for Houston. I mean, obviously looking at it, you're thinking LSU, Houston, just looking at the names. But obviously with Lane Kiffin coming in, I don't think that this game is going to matter that much to LSU. I mean, they still travel well, but just for the Houston program, playing in Houston at NRG, I think that would be a big win for their program. That Clemson Penn State game actually seems like one of the weirder ones. I will tell you that's one that I honestly don't know if I want to touch. As far as ones coming up soon, just jumping out at me, Kennesaw State being a underdog against Western Michigan. I think Kennesaw is a team that people haven't really been paying too much attention to, haven't been FBS too long. Western Michigan, they finished the season tough in the MAC, a little bit one-dimensional. I think getting points there, I kind of like Kennesaw on that one, Kennesaw State and Western Michigan. I think that's coming up on the 19th. Once we get to like the Michigan, the Texas, some of those games later on, it's going to be interesting. I think the more that these guys have time to think about it, the more there's chances to opting out. I kind of like some of these
we got to wait. You're right.
One more week of practice and just play one more game.
What do you think? So Notre Dame declines to play in a bowl game, but they're not the only ones. 10 programs in total. A bunch of 5 and 7 teams declined invites because they didn't have enough 6-win teams. The future of college football bowls, Dave, is a precarious one. Programs just don't want to play in them anymore, right? Like the big, the schools, it costs them money. The bowls just end up costing them money. It's sad, but true. This is the world that we're in right now. I mean, it's pretty wild. You got 10. It used to be, they're playing to get into a bowl game and all this. Now you got 10 teams. They didn't want to go to a bowl game. But what's your take on the Notre Dame fiasco and Miami? And I think BYU are the ones that have the biggest beef. BYU lost to the same team twice, Texas Tech. They beat everybody else, but it really didn't seem to matter. They already made their mind up that they were going to put Alabama in. And I saw a tweet today that, and they were right. Somebody said, so I guess they're going to put Alabama in after they lose to Oklahoma. They'll say, they lost a close one, though, Dave. They'll advance them to the quarterfinals.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it was close, right? Yeah, but it was close. Well, do you think, what do you make of it? Do you think one team got screwed, like, for real, or is this just all media hype?
I do think Notre Dame deserved to be in. I don't think that they deserve to be in over Miami because I do think that you have to honor what happened head-to-head. I just think based off of the rules, and I'm all about, I'm all about the mid-majors, but, seeing Tulane and James Madison in, I'm down for one of them. I didn't really
I don't understand why James Madison. That's my deal. Like Tulane, fine. We all kind of knew whoever wins that conference, you'll be that sort of new 5th conference to get in. But I really don't understand why they put JMU in.
Yeah, I don't either. So that's the biggest gripe. I don't think BYU had much of a gripe, in my opinion. I mean, they lost to Texas Tech twice, but that was one of those games. It felt like if they played Texas Tech 5 more times, they still wouldn't have had a chance to win there. So I think Notre Dame is the biggest gripe after what they did last year. But overall, they lost to Miami and Texas A&M. That's kind of how it goes.
Dave Delano.
take a look at it. You say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that. Because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
In-Game Live continues on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. We appreciate you spending your night with us tonight. Monday Night Football. It's been a strange game. I don't know. It's kind of been entertaining in its own weird way. For the record, there's been like 2 more fumbles in the second half, but they've been recovered on their own already. Right? Herbert fumbled again, I think. I think it was Herbert again. But he got the ball back. Covey fumbled the kickoff in the second half. I don't know if there's like some sort of grease on the ball tonight or something, but what the hell's going on? They're indoors this evening, but this ball's been slipping around and popping around all night for everybody. There were 6 turnovers in the first half. It's a miracle that there's only 22 points on the board right now. So we got a 13-9 football game. In-game total is 34.5. The Eagles are getting 3.5 right now, down 4. It just moved to 1.5 after a penalty that awarded the Eagles a first down. Let's bring in Brady Cannon right now. Brady, you've seen a lot of football over your life. This is a weird one tonight, isn't it? Like all the turnovers and it's a weird football game.
It's usually baseball where they say, you see something every game that you've never seen before. But you're right. This one is certainly unique. And apparently it's not just localized here in Los Angeles or something. I just fumbled my dinner like 3 times a few minutes ago. I was able to recover it and everything is fine. But, this is widespread. It's a pandemic or something. So, no, but, I'm glad the Chargers are winning. I went to school in San Diego. I ended up rooting for Phillip Rivers. I've always liked Dan Fouts, the style of play. They've always been a fun team. I really like Justin Herbert, and I'm a fan of Jim Harbaugh. And I'd like to see this team. It's kind of like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a little bit like the Lions. Good football teams that have really been hampered by injury. And now Justin Herbert, is basically playing with one hand. I'd like to see this team make some noise in the postseason. Hopefully they can come out of here with a victory. Philadelphia, we know, has had their problems offensively, and it doesn't look much better tonight. Both of these teams are very good defensively. Good football game. Like you say, weird, but very competitive.
I get the feeling here that the Chargers are letting the Eagles hang around too much. Right? Yeah, they've been the better team. They've left too many points on the field. They haven't taken advantage of the turnovers and the short fields. And there's the Chargers super fan that some people think is a plant. She's not a plant. You'll see her going to a commercial break here. She's not a plant. Like, people actually think like, oh, because she kind of appeared out of nowhere, like she's like a maniacal Charger fan. But I saw a Charger player tweet about it the other day, and he goes, "You guys won't believe this, but he goes, we randomly walked into a restaurant, and she was there with her husband, and they were both decked out in Charger gear." Like, he said, she's the real deal, man. Like, she's 24/7 all the time. People tried to bust her once because there was a picture in a Viking jersey. Yeah. And they're like, you see, she's not a diehard Charger fan. And once again, people were wrong. The internet was wrong. Turns out her son plays for a high school football team called the Vikings.
The Vikings.
So, like, she was supporting her son's high school team.
Exactly.
Yeah, she was a Viking high school shirt on.
Let's burn her. You know, It's like, people are just jerks, man. It's just
you can't even be a fan when people like checking your credentials. Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew she was fake.
yeah.
I agree. People are just jerks. Leave her alone. She's been doing that Charger stuff for years. You're right. Like, she's at all the games. Like, she is a super fan. I'm with you. Good for her.
So she's gung ho. So Detroit Red Wings are on the board. They scored 1-0 left, a little under 5 minutes left in the first period. I bet over 1.5 in the first period. The Canucks are on the power play right now, so they got 2 minutes. And just quickly for the record, there's a lot of talk. The Canucks suck. It's frustrating. It is what it is. But there's a lot of talk about Quinn Hughes. He's a free agent, and he's not going to re-sign with the Canucks. They know it. Everyone knows it. He kind of wants to play with his brothers with the New Jersey Devils, but it's not that easy just because, whatever, your brothers are on that team that we're going to trade you there. So word is that there are serious talks between these teams, the Detroit Red Wings and the Vancouver Canucks, that Quinn Hughes would be a Detroit Red Wing. So interesting. As I say that, he shoots the puck at the net for the Vancouver Canucks. So we'll keep our eye on that. But what did you like, Brady, coming into this game? Did you bet tonight's game with the Eagles and the Chargers?
No, I didn't. I would have played the Chargers. I thought this was a good spot for them, laying catching less than a field goal, not an ideal number. But I made the game a pick'em. And when I crunched all the numbers, I came out with the same thing, that this was a toss up. And I felt, the Chargers getting any points was worth the play. But the uncertainty about Herbert's hand and, it kind of seemed. What happened? What happened?
Hey. Give the
Touchdown?
ball to Saquon and good things happen. Good things happen. Let's see how far behind Cam is. Good things will happen.
Oh, I'm watching Alabama, Oklahoma, Miami, and Texas A&M. Here's Cam, 20 seconds behind. Go. Yeah, anytime touchdown. There we go, Gabe. Yeah, I'm seeing it late, but it's great news. Thank you.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley. Yeah, like we said earlier, don't complicate it. Like, even last year, guys, the Eagles were good, but
good game. I think he's now over 100 yards rushing, which, when was the last time he did that? It's been a while.
They don't give him the ball enough, Brady. Like, there's been games where he has the ball like 4 times in the first half, 3 times. He's not on the field with third down. They finally sorted out, and you know what? They weren't even really. Sirianni said earlier in the week, Saquon's going to start to be, we're going to run the ball more, blah, blah. And then tonight, they really didn't. They only really gave the ball to Saquon after the second interception that Jalen threw. It was like, all right, finally, they were like, okay, let's just give the ball to Barkley. But then they got down to the 1-yard line, and they went backwards again. But Saquon saved them a lot last year, too, where the Eagles weren't looking very good. They were close games. And then, boom, Saquon would pop like a 50, 60-yarder for a touchdown, and he would save them. And it looks like he could again. But as I just stated momentarily ago, guys, feels like the Chargers are making a big mistake and letting them hang around far too long. Saquon Barkley now up to 117 yards, 15 carries, 117 yards. So we hit the over 87.5.
Almost 8 yards a carry, too, Gabe.
You're right.
Like
total
we did, Brady, but pre-game kind of worried. But what do we need now, Gabe? We need 1 touchdown, 35.5. We're at 29.
Oh, you got to, because the live number now is at 40, and we're at 29 points. It's just a little tough. 10 might, a field goal and a touchdown, but to get it past 11, I wonder if you would bet it over the total at this point, or would you go under?
No, you know what, Brady? I teased, so I have the Eagles plus 7.5 and under 49.5 in a same game parlay / tease or whatever. They wouldn't let me tease it, but they let you do a same game parlay.
Yeah.
So I have that. Then I took an in-game under 40.5 in the first quarter of the game. And I hate middling. I don't like betting like bets. Like I don't like eliminate. I don't like hedging. I don't like betting something that one of them can lose automatically.
Right.
And even hedging, I don't like to get cute. But I have the 49.5 window. I had that 40.5. And at the half, it was 35.5. And I just felt it was light at 35.5. I'm like, that's only 20 points, man, to get to 36, Brady. I thought that this would get to, 37, 38 points in the second half at least. So now we're at 29. Look, I said, a touchdown by both teams and a field goal by both teams, that's 20 points.
Well,
right?
now,
and so, and now we've had 13 points scored already now.
Do you have a live price? And I'm guessing it's probably plus 450, which is not a great number. But is there a live price on will there be overtime? Because a field goal will tie this up. I mean, it could get there eventually.
Let me see if I can find a price here for this. Let's see. They should be up. Let me see if it's still plus 450. This game. So you think this game will go to overtime?
I don't, but I wonder what the price is.
We'll get the price on the other side. I don't. I mean, what is it?
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, this game is starting to get interesting right now. The Chargers are on the move. They're down 3, fourth quarter, under 13 minutes remaining. Cam Stewart in the house with us. I am Gabriel Morency, Brady Cannon with us as well. So, Brady, the NFL is getting interesting right now as well as far as the playoff picture is concerned. The Kansas City Chiefs are all but done right now after losing to the Houston Texans. I'll tell you what, this Texan team, they're a dangerous team right now, right? People... Collinsworth brought it up last night. It was a good point. And he said people have a tendency to dismiss teams that their defense is better than the offense. right? We all do. People do. And Oklahoma Sooners are a good example of that. It's like, you know, people are like, oh, in Oklahoma, they can't even score. Oklahoma can't do this. It's like, yeah, well, they don't score much, but go and score on them. All right, beat them then, right? Because they only give up like 12 points a game. So, like, you know, and they play good teams. So, like, good luck trying to score on them. Defense matters, and the Houston Texan defense can terrorize anybody. They destroyed the Buffalo Bills. Like, Josh Allen got sacked more times in that game than he did in his life, right? Like, they overwhelmed them. They overwhelmed the Chiefs last night. This team is for real right now. Like, they've won 5 games in a row, 3 of them with Davis Mills. C.J. Stroud's back now. Nico Collins is healthy. People are sleeping on this Texans team.
Well, you know, I think it's interesting to note that it wasn't long ago that the Denver Broncos went down into Houston and beat them. And that's kind of a similar team, but with a little bit more of an upgrade on offense with Bo Nix and what he's got going there. And we know the Broncos offense is not anything like the Bills or the Rams. You know, they're not at that level either, but they also have an elite defense like the Texans do. And I think a little bit, like I say, an upgrade at offense. And they beat Houston on the road in Houston by a field goal. So, you know, is that a little bit of a blueprint of what it's going to take to beat this team? That's what I wonder about. I thought that was going to be a real tough spot for Houston on Sunday night because they had just played the Colts, their division rival. Then you got to get up and go into Arrowhead and play the Chiefs. But they came out, I mean, maybe you want to blame it on Andy Reid for going for it on 4th down at his own 30-yard line. I don't know. I agree with you, Gabe. They were the better team for the most part all night. And Kansas City's just not the same Chiefs that we're used to. But I do, and you talk about falling into the trap, I do wonder about the Texans offense. I think you put the Rams, in my opinion, are the best team in the NFL. I think they can beat anybody. If the Lions are healthy, I think they can beat anybody. They are very limited on offense, and that's really what kept Kansas City in that game with a puncher's chance.
My power rankings would go Rams 1, Broncos 2. And I'm not even saying that I think the Broncos are the second best team in the NFL. But as far as the path to the Super Bowl, I'm not naive. It's going through Denver.
And they're healthy.
It's going through Denver. If they get home field advantage, which I think they will. Because I think the Patriots can lose to the Bills this week. They got the Ravens the following week. So I think the Patriots could stumble. So let's just say hypothetically, and they have it now, that the Broncos are the 1 seed. They play 2 home games. It's not easy winning at Mile High. I doubt they would lose the first one. I have Buffalo. We'll see how the bracket plays out when it's all said and done. But I think Buffalo and Denver is the AFC Conference Championship game, personally. And I think the Rams will be the ones to get out of the if the Rams get home field advantage, I don't think they'll lose. Like, if you made the Rams go into Green Bay in bad weather or Philadelphia or something, maybe you could catch them. But I don't think they'll lose at home, Brady.
I agree with you. I don't know if the Rams will lose anywhere. This team is really good. And you remember they had that game earlier in the year where they had it wrapped up against Philadelphia, in Philadelphia. And they missed a few field goals at the end. They gave it away.
They were in the playoff game last year in the snow against Philadelphia. Kieran Williams fumbled in the 4th quarter, if you remember. They were moving the ball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was down to the very last possession. There's no doubt about it. I think this team has learned from its own mistakes last year and this year. Nearly gave the game away against the Seattle Seahawks a few weeks ago as well. And then they lose to Carolina. Okay, no problem. I'll give them a pass. Everybody's allowed a slip. And then they come back this week and just absolutely pound a division rival in the Cardinals. Puka Nacua, my goodness, this guy catches anything, within 10 feet of him. And Matthew Stafford, MVP, absolutely. Sean McVay, they've got all the pieces. A tremendous defense. That's what we're talking about. The Texans and the Broncos. The Rams really have the full package. I don't necessarily disagree with you at all about the Broncos and the Bills in the AFC Championship.
And we can't there's just so many good teams in the NFC. Right? The Seahawks are good. The 49ers are good. The Packers are good. The Bears are dangerous.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Lions are dangerous.
We'll get to see the Seahawks, Gabe, when they're playing the Rams on Thursday. They couldn't have played any worse as we talk about that game with the 4 turnovers. They covered the spread, and the kick was too long. We don't have it. Myers doesn't have a leg. He's good from anything inside 50, but he's not a power kicker. He's old. His leg's old. But I'm going to say this.
We got another interception. You can't make this up.
Wow.
Chargers picked Jalen Hurts off for the third time.
Wow. Why are they throwing the ball when everything was going so good with the run? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're keeping these guys.
Once again, you're right. Saquon gives them the game, and then they just get away from it.
There's no designed runs for Hurts anymore. And I don't know if that's a safety thing, because eventually I think all running quarterbacks start to get injured and wear down. But I don't know if Jalen Hurts is that great when you try and make him a pocket passer. I think he needs that RPO element to become really effective, like he's been in the past.
This is the classic example of, does either team want to win this game? The cliche. Like, does either team want this?
You think Harbaugh wants to win?
Yeah.
It was a high pass to Brown. Brown should have caught it.
Yeah, he should have caught that.
Like, you know what I mean? Brown can complain all he wants about not getting the ball and stuff. You just got the ball. It was a little high, but that's a catch that AJ Brown makes like 95 out of 100 times, right? But that's the way things are going for them. The Eagles is just out of sync, so now they give the ball to the Chargers at the 35-yard line. We'll see if the Chargers can do anything with it. Herbert goes down and he gets sacked on first down. It's just wild, man, this stuff.
This game's stupid. Yeah,
it might go to overtime, and Brady was right.
No,
you said, is it 450? I found the odds. It won't be 450 now. It'll probably 400 or whatnot, but it was plus 450 a couple of minutes ago, Brady, to go overtime. And I didn't think so before.
That's not a great number.
But now, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, it's not like I don't see the Eagles scored another touchdown here. Like, they tied the game.
Defense is ruling the roost here, like we're talking about with the Broncos and the Texans. Defensive battle.
All right, we'll wrap up with Brady on the other side.
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we got a 16-13 game, 7:47 left, and the Chargers are on the move after the millionth turnover of this game. So we got a 4th down coming up right now. We're going to be staring at a 16-16 football game. 3rd and 3, they decide to throw the football, and it's incomplete. And now they're going to have to kick a field goal. I'm getting thrown off here. Why are there like orange jerseys? There's a bunch of jackass Bronco fans in here cheering for the
what
Eagles.
What are you guys doing? It's like, listen, guys, it's the
There's a
Baltimore
lot
Eagles.
of them
Like,
in
what are
Las
you doing?
Vegas today. The Broncos were just here.
Oh, they're leftovers. Yeah.
They're
it's Cowboys and Bronco fans here, and some of them I think are the same thing. The rodeo's in town, so Buck and Broncos. Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, so that could be a little spillover in Southern California from the Bronco. The loss here in the Raiders. The Raiders, what are they, 2-11? Just so bad.
I tell you what, if there's anybody in the area, if you're at the South Point, do not mouth off to any of these Cowboys. They all have guns. All right, like they all have guns. Like every one of them has a gun in their car, even if they're not from the state. Don't worry, they got a gun somewhere. Right? Like,
and you're right.
Brady. One night I was really hammered, Brady. I was in Vegas one night. It was like 2 a.m, and I found myself in the middle of the gun convention people, and it was a trip, bro. Like I'm sitting there, and these guys are all like trying to show off. Like one guy busted one out of his sock. I'm like, how many guns you got on you? He's like, I got 4 of them. He's got one on my sock, one on my hair. Like he's busted like his cowboy hat, he had a gun. Like he's busting guns. He's like, there's a bunch of like. The waitress came over to our table. There's like a stack of guns on the table, right? But it's Nevada. You're allowed guns. Like, there's a big stack of guns. And she's kind of like, all right, anything else? And I said, man, we're going to get the best service ever at this table. So you got a bunch of guns sitting on the table like they're like cell phones. He's like, oh, I got another one here. He's pulling them out like, you just got to be prepared, Like, I'm like, man, I remember telling the guy I was with, I was like, listen, like, just don't like mouth off tonight to anyone. These guys are all packing. Like, they're all packing. Like,
Gabe, to finish my point about the Seahawks, though, I just want to say one thing. They were looking for an alternate receiver to go with JSN. So Shaheed has finally stepped it up. He had barely any catches. He had 4 catches for 67 and took back that 100-yard return. He's one of the fastest guys in the league. So, the Rams have their guys. Cooper Kupp's playing better. There's a lot to like. I'm just saying that. We'll find out on Thursday. But I'm telling you, I thought this team would be improved, and you did too. I didn't know it was going to be like this. If Sam Darnold doesn't get in the way, and they run Charbonnet and Walker and do their thing and just plod along with the speed that they have. JSN had freaking 2 touchdowns against the Falcons too. This guy's open like 7-11. I'm telling you, I think the Seahawks can play with the Rams. I know the Rams are the better team right now in the rankings, but Seattle's very close.
Just for the record,
I think
though,
you're absolutely right.
That game is not this Thursday. It's next Thursday still, right? It's
next
not this
Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday. Yeah, you're right.
Cam,
they play the Colts this week.
I don't think it's far-fetched to say they're the best 2 teams in the NFL. You and I were both on the Falcons this week. I thought that was a really bad spot for Seattle. They haven't had their stub the toe game like the Rams had against the Carolina Panthers, and I thought this could have been it. The Falcons have a lot of talent. They just continually underachieve, and Raheem Morris should be fired, very quickly. But that was a spot where the Seattle Seahawks had traveled in 3 out of the last 4 weeks, and it was back and forth to every edge of the country, from Washington, D.C. to Tennessee to Atlanta, and then all the way back to Seattle, mind you, on the other end. And I didn't think it was a good situation for them, and they throttled the Falcons. That's a sign of a pretty darn good team. I think they are absolutely tough as well, and they're also healthy.
That's the Thursday nighter this week. The Rams and Seahawks is December the 18th.
Yeah.
Buccaneers are fading. They're 4-point favorites. Brady, looking at the board this week, any early action for you in the National Football League or games that stood out more than others?
Yeah, there is one. The Bills. Your Bills, Gabe. I love betting against a team that goes into a bye week on a roll. And did the Patriots go into a bye week on a roll? Absolutely. Well, they had won 9 in a row or something. It came to fruition last Sunday night. I bet on the Commanders coming out of a bye week after struggling versus the Broncos going into a bye week on a roll. Commanders cover the spread. I think the Bills do the same thing here to a team that went into a bye week that didn't need to stop that momentum. When they had all that mojo going, they didn't need a bye week. We'll see if they come out, without a little bit, sea legs, if you will. I think the Bills get them this time around.
And it's a revenge spot from earlier in the season. The Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills. Brady Cannon. Thanks, Brady.
Hey, Brady.
take a look at it and you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that. Because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live continues. This game is into crunch time right now. We've got a 16-16 football game. In-game total is now 37.5, which somewhat surprised me a little bit, considering we're at 32. 3 points gets us to 35. Does one more field goal win this game? I was kind of getting the feeling, and I was thinking that, you know what? I could see 2 more field goals even here. I didn't think, there won't be any scoring for the last 4 quarters, where someone's going to score type of deal. But I'm thinking, all right, maybe, Philadelphia kicks a field goal here, and then the Chargers kick a field goal to the Chargers kick a field goal after to tie the game at 19-19 potentially. But here we are at 16 right now, 5:46 left, and the Chargers get the ball back on their own 25-yard line. A quick prop check right now. Jalen Hurts, 15-28, 153 yards passing, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns on the evening. He's got a quarterback rating of 29.9. It's been a disaster for Jalen Hurts tonight. Saquon Barkley, 16 carries for 118 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts, only 3 carries and 9 yards. It's like, Jalen, if you're going to, you got to take off, bro, at some point here. You're not helping the team throwing the football. At least you can help us with your legs here. So he's stuck at 9 yards. As far as the receivers are concerned, A.J. Brown, 4 catches, 65 yards. Dallas Goedert, 5 catches, 53. What was your number, Cam? You like Goddard at the half? What was
60,
the number?
Yeah, 66.5. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there.
So he's at 53 right now, 5 catches, 53. Darius Cooper, 1 catch, 19 yards. Devontae Smith has kind of been irrelevant in this game. 3 catches, but only 10 yards. Dotson, a catch for 3 yards. Shipley, a catch for 3 yards. Chargers with the rock right now, but they've gone conservative as well. I told you guys, their first drive, they go down the field, and, how many times have they gotten the ball in good field position? They run the ball, they lose yards, and, they're out of sync as well. It's not like this Charger offense is killing it. And Justin Herbert, 10-19, 132 yards only. I bet at half over 193.5. Hampton, 11 carries, 36 yards. Vidal, 36 yards, 13 carries. Herbert, 29 yards on 4 carries for Herbert. McConkey has been a disappointment over the last couple of weeks. McConkey's only got one catch for 12 yards. Speaking of Herbert running, Herbert just landed very awkwardly on his knee. See if he's all right getting up. That looked awkward the way that Herbert just landed, but Herbert just added a little bit more. But yeah, Cam, this game's looking like it could end up like 1916 for San Diego, like the way things are going. Yeah. Oh, my bad. Find me. I called them San Diego. The Chargers.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. You're ahead of me, but a big third down here. But yeah, it could be 1916. Maybe both teams do nothing. We go to overtime at 16-16. We just got 5 minutes left, man. This has been just a train wreck on both sides of the ball, Morency. And I can't believe how many points the Eagles have left off the board. But you're right. The Eagles' defense has kept them in. The Chargers' offense looks a little bit
now they
rattled
just sacked
as well.
Herbert. They sacked Herbert now. Now the Chargers. So now the Eagles are going to get the ball back. Huge. They've sacked Herbert 7 times tonight. The Chargers are in a weird spot in which they're trying to run the ball and they can't. Right? Every time they run the ball, it basically loses yards. It goes sideways. It gets blown up. But the problem is, when they try to throw the ball, the Eagles are murdering their offensive line. Right? Like both the defensive lines have dominated this football game. Like Hurts has been running for his life all night. Herbert's been getting lit up and murdered. Despite the fact we can't question Herbert's toughness. I'll tell you that. Because the guy's got a broken hand and he's out here. He's getting killed tonight too. So now the Eagles get the ball back with 3:33 left, and now they become minus 200 on the money line.
I think they got to win this game there, Gabe. We got to take care of business right now, and no more turnovers. You know what I mean? Just make it you got 3 minutes and 33 seconds left with 3 timeouts. No need to panic. You give Barkley that rock. You extend the sticks, you march it down, and march it down. Don't give Herbert and these guys back the ball and score points. That's the thing. I don't want to see any stupid throws. Like you have a running back that's having a great night. Finally, he's been, struggling most of the season, and now he's having a good game. Make it the Saquon show. Let's go.
So Herbert's now been sacked 45 times this year, 7 times tonight. This is, what happens. They lost Slater. They lost Joe Alt on the offensive line. Right? We all knew it at the time when it went down. It was going to be a problem for them. Some teams can absorb it on the offensive line, but the thing is, the Chargers are built through their offensive line. Like their first-round draft picks are all linemen, right? So they lose these guys. It's such a drop-off after than some other teams where it's like, yeah, our linemen are all like 3rd and 4th-round draft picks, so it's sort of interchangeable when somebody goes down. No, like Joe Alt was like a top 10 pick. Like, Slater, same thing. Like they've got these star offensive linemen and they're both hurt and it's caught up to them, right? I mean, Herbert's been sacked 45 times, 3rd most in the National Football League. That's not good for a Harbaugh coach team, but the O-line can't run the ball. They can't run protect either. Run block has been a problem for them, but it's not like the Eagles are doing much. All right. A.J. Brown just caught a little pass and somehow turned it into a first down. So, looks like the Eagles are going to play themselves into field goal range here. And you are right, Cam. If you're the Eagles, you're in no rush. You don't have to give the ball back to the Chargers here. Just run the ball. I'd be very careful with Jalen Hurts throwing the ball here. Like, I'm past the point of trust with him tonight. Like, they just threw it. It was a quick out to Brown, but that's all I would allow because it would be unforgivable if Jalen Hurts threw another interception here. I would just be giving the ball to Saquon.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. The Chargers have 3 timeouts as well. Just milk it. Let them use their timeouts. Right now, you're not in field goal range, but a few more yards, you know what I mean? We'd be looking at a 62-yard attempt. That's not good enough. They need another 15, 20 yards, get in Elliott's range, and then, you got to play the clock right, Gabe. That's the thing. You got to make the Chargers use those timeouts. Don't be stupid.
The Chargers have 3 timeouts left, and we're at the 2:40 mark right now. They could get the ball back. So I think we could have an instance where Herbert's going to get a minute left and all they'll need is a field goal to potentially tie the game. Philadelphia hasn't scored yet either, right? They're on the 45-yard line and they're throwing the football and they actually complete it. Now they are in field goal range for real. Like for real. First down, Philadelphia, little slant over the middle to A.J. Brown. They're on the 25-yard line right now. So now the clock becomes the enemy of the Chargers. Yep. They're going to have to bust out their timeouts here. And it looks like they're not on. This is what I never understand. I get it. It sucks. They just got the first down. It puts you off schedule. Let's see if they call the timeout here. Because if you're the Chargers, you can't let the 30 seconds go. Like, they won't have to run a play. All right, they did use the timeout, the Chargers. So, smart move. A lot of time, I saw Coach do that the other day, Cam. There was like 2:30 left type thing. And he let the 30 seconds go to the 2-minute warning and he saved the 3 timeouts. And it was like, bro, no, just use them now. And sure, lo and behold, the first play after 2-minute warning, the other team got a first down anyway, so it was like pointless. Like, so you just use the timeout when you can. Like, Harbaugh was smart. Don't let them kill the 30 seconds here. Like, you know what I mean? Time is not like that. Was a lot of coaches are bad with clock. That was smart by Harbaugh. He calls timeout again. Philadelphia has gone conservative here, so we got a 2nd and 11. We got a 2nd and 11 coming up here. Looks like they're just playing for the field goal here right now.
That could be a mistake, though. I know Herbert's banged up, but you know what I mean? The Chargers are going to have tons of time, right? They got the 2-minute warning and a couple, I'd be a little more aggressive.
And the Eagles' schedule, as they show it right now. They play Vegas next week, and then they play Washington, at Buffalo, and then Washington again.
Wow.
So all the panic about the Philadelphia Eagles, like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, they're at Buffalo. Let's say they lose that game. They're going to win the other 3 games. They're not going to lose to the Raiders or Washington.
You're right. They're going to lose to Buffalo, though.
Depends whether they need the game or not, which they probably won't. Buffalo will, though.
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from 3. He is a career 43.3% shooter from 3-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Fly, Eagle, fly. The Philadelphia Eagles take a 3-point lead with 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in this football game. The Chargers did a good job, though, of getting the stop. The Chargers did a good job of managing the clock. They used their timeouts properly. Guys, think about it. You know, it was first down at like the 2:30 mark, right? They basically got them off the field in 14 seconds, held them to a field goal. You can't ask for more if you're the Chargers. And you got 2 minutes and 16 seconds to work with. with Justin Herbert. They need a field goal to send this game to overtime. We haven't had an overtime game in a while in one of these primetime games. I think there's been one of them this year that I recall that we did here. It could be, we could be in the mix. Oftentimes we're wrapping up the show by now. At basically about 10 after 11, these games are done usually. Like the quicker games, we're out of here at that break. We're going to be with you to the end of the football game here, but I kind of get the feeling the Chargers are going to go down the field here and kick a field goal, and then it's going to be 19-19. So I've got Herbert over 193.5 passing yards. He's at 132 right now. So this sort of sets up. If they don't run the ball here, if they actually just kind of threw the ball down the field here, no, actually they wouldn't, because they would get into field goal range. I wouldn't fully get there. I would need overtime, actually, to get that Herbert prop potentially. But Brady Cannon brought up overtime. Yeah, we can't give him credit for it, because I asked him, I said, do you think it's going to go to overtime? And he goes, no. He asked for the number. He said, what's the number? I said, yeah, it is. He goes, 450. I said, yeah, it is plus 450, actually. That's what it is. And I said, do you like it? He goes, no. I didn't really think so either. It was, 12 minutes left at the time. I figured someone will pull away here, but neither of these teams can finish each other off. Now Herbert's like running for his life. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe the Chargers, maybe the Eagles step up and stop them here. We got a 2nd and 10, 2:04 left. So we got one more play before the 2-minute warning here. This is what the Eagles do. This is very similar to that Green Bay game where we took the Eagles in a similar spot to this. On the road, the game was essentially a pick-em type of deal. The sky was falling on the Eagles and all that type of stuff. For all like the Eagles' flaws, they still have the pedigree and the know-how to find ways to win games. And now we're into a 3rd and 10, and our boy Vinny, who's sweating out, he's trying to get into the fantasy football playoffs. He said he needs a McConkey catch. There was nearly just like a bomb to McConkey. He couldn't hang on.
Wow.
It was there. That's one of those tough catch. Yeah, the guy on the Eagles was right in front of you. The guy on the Eagles got his hand on it. That's what happened. Yeah, Cooper DeJean's good. He got his hand. You see his hand sort of got in there and swatted the ball at the last second. So we got 2 plays left for the Chargers. Otherwise, this game is game, set, over. Eagles get the ball back and take a knee. 3rd and 10.
That'd be fantastic, Gabe. We've got the Eagles on the side in this game, and I don't want to deal with overtime. I'm not going to lie to you. I just, I got money on the Eagles, and I'd like it to end. 1916's fine.
So an update in the National Hockey League right now. We got a ton of goals going on right now in Calgary. 5-3 for the Calgary Flames. Early in the 3rd period. In-game total is 10.5. You can get plus 2.5 for the Buffalo Sabres right now at plus 2.5 for the Sabres, Cam, at minus 120. And considering they were down in this game and they fought their way back here, look, if you take this, the Flames are on the power play right now as well. But you take the Sabres plus 2.5 now. They get the next goal of the game, you'll win the bet, right? They'll make it 5-4, and then maybe they'll lose 6-4, something like that, an empty netter later. But problem is, they fall behind 6-3, then we're screwed. You're not going to hit the 2.5. So, like, the next goal is critical.
It is critical. And I've seen, too, some coaches are weird. I get the plus 2.5, and they go up 2, and then they lead the goalie out again to make it 3. I've been burned that way. So, a lot of weird stuff going on. They just locked the game. So, I don't know what happened. You said Calgary was on the power play. They might have scored.
Yeah, the Calgary Flames on the power play right now. And I would check and let everybody know what happens, what just happened, but I'm blacked out as I pop into the game. It says, not available in my region. Subscribe for your area. So I'm not going to subscribe for the Calgary Flames.
Me neither.
The Vancouver Canucks are losing right now, 1-0. So we lost the first period bet over 1.5. The Red Wings scored with like 5 minutes left in the first period, but then they didn't score. Nothing happened after. And nothing has happened since, actually. Like I said, the Canucks suddenly can't score, and they've gotten better defensively. So there's only 7 minutes left in the second period right now. And it's 1-0. The in-game total is 4.5. The Red Wings are minus 320. Man, yeah, Canucks are only down a goal, and you're getting them at plus 235. It's a pretty big number. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 130 right now. The Seattle Kraken and the Minnesota Wild are tied midway through the second period of play. It's still basically a pick 'em. The Wild are small favorites, minus 125. The Kraken are minus 105. The total is 5.5. It is minus 180 to the under. What do you think about the in-game hockey bets here, Cam? You going to take anything?
Well, no, you know what? It is a good number for Vancouver, but I like Detroit originally in the game. I'm on the Seattle Kraken. You're not getting plus money now, but, it's basically even. I like the Kraken tonight to end the streak. Minnesota's a tough out, but I think Seattle can grind out like a 3-2 type of win. LA and Utah, 5.5. There's 8 minutes left. If Utah gets the next goal, it's probably going to be 4-2. That total right now is 5.5. You're getting plus 180 to the over. No, I'm going to let it go, Gabe. I want to take the Sabres, but plus 2.5, minus 130. They need that next goal. Tough call. I don't know. Are you taking the Sabres? Penalty on the Eagles? Great.
Yeah, so penalty, exactly. The Chargers, 3rd and 10. They were starting to get into some serious trouble here. They threw the ball. It looked like it was just going to be incomplete, but they got bailed out with a pass interference penalty. It was too. Buddy on the Eagles did grab him. And now on first down, Justin Herbert just scrambled for 7 or 8 yards. So that's terrible for my prop because they just picked up a chunk play without actually completing a pass with the pass interference, and now he just ran for more. But they're getting closer to field goal range. Like in the modern NFL, especially indoors like this at SoFi, 60 yards is field goal range. Cameron Dicker is a good kicker, too. Dicker, the kicker, is a good kicker. But he's not Brandon Aubrey of the Cowboys. Like, he's not like, 66 yards, no problem. I think that Dicker is more of a 57, 57, 58 yards and in, he can make it. But they're on the move right now. Looks like they're going to tie this game.
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Well, things are getting pretty interesting now in the final moments of this football game. Maybe it's Cam Stewart in the house. Cam, you join us, and we could potentially be getting an overtime game. But a lot of stuff has happened, right? A lot of stuff has happened in this game. So you never know. There could be a snap problem, fumble, this, that. Like,
how about
I never assume anything.
The time runs out. just like something.
Yeah, it's a good. He nearly just did. So he throws it up here. The Chargers, listen, the Chargers pretty much did this masterfully. You know, we could blame the Eagles a little bit for not being able to take more time off the clock, but they kept throwing the freaking football. So that's what's stupid about that. Think about it. Like, it was 16-16. There was like 2.5 minutes left in the game. The Eagles had the ball, and they had a big play to A.J. Brown over the middle of the field to the 25-yard line. So it's first down, 25-yard line. There was about 3 minutes left at that time, or 2:40, whatever, and they threw the ball 3 times in a row. And it kept on throwing it incomplete. And you know what I mean? It was like, boom, boom, incomplete. Or then they ran it finally, and they figured it out. The Chargers had their timeouts, and then that was that. Right? Like, the Eagles didn't manage the last couple of, like, the Eagles could have, like, bleeded more time than given 2:16 back. Like, I mean, that's an eternity in the NFL. And Herbert has moved them down the field. Now they got a 4th and 1, so they don't have a choice but to kick the field goal now. But they only left 12 seconds. Crazier things have happened. If you're the Eagles, maybe you got a good return and or one play over the middle of the field type thing. Boom. Call timeout, kick a field goal. You do have 2 timeouts. Like, there could be time potentially. Here it is right now. And the kick is good. 19-19. So we talked about that over. We hit that over 35.5 at the half. But whatever, it just makes up for I'm going to lose the 40.5 bet. But at least I cancels it out. And now I ride into overtime with the Eagles plus 7.5 under 49.5. So unless there's 2 touchdowns, which there can't be, or 9 points, there really could only be 3-3. Yeah. So my teaser's looking pretty good with the Eagles at plus 7.5. But nothing's ever home until it's home, as you know. I never assume anything.
Unreal. You said it. Like, the Eagles, just the amount of weird plays, the clock management, the decision making, not running. Like, yeah, they set these guys up. They even had a timeout at the end, Gabe, with the 2-minute warning to after things got a little bit real. It was a good call on the pass interference, but yeah, looks like overtime here.
What's amazing to me is I've got Justin Herbert over 193.5 yards. He gets the ball back in a must-drive situation, and you figure, all right, you're going to pick up. Most of the times it's automatic. You'll pick up 40, 50 yards. Quarterback has to throw the ball. They can't throw. He's got a broken hand on one hand. He's been sacked 7, 8 times. He's running for his life, and they can't run the ball either. So, like, Herbert just basically went into Oregon Duck mode like he did in the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin. He just took off with his legs there on that drive. So Herbert, all the way up to 53 rushing yards right now. That was some gutsy stuff. Say what you will about Herbert, and he's got a losing record against winning teams, but that was pretty damn gutsy what he just did. Yet it's hard to believe he only threw for 6 yards on that entire drive because we got the big pass interference penalty, and then we got him running the ball all the time. So I only picked up 6 yards somehow in that sequence. So he's at 138 right now. Jalen Hurts' props was pretty much the exact same thing. He was like 192. He's at 187 right now. And the Eagles don't take any chances. They take a knee. We are going to overtime. I wish I would have bet the plus 450 when Brady brought it up.
Exactly. That's right. You betting it? Nope. But just want to know the number. Yeah, I wish I bet it too.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't sure it was going to overtime. These games generally don't go to overtime. So 19-19 overtime right now. This game is bigger for the Chargers than it is the Eagles, right? The Dallas Cowboys aren't catching the Eagles. You know, the Eagles are kind of in a spot where they're either going to be the 3 seed or the 4 seed in the playoffs. As we talked about, they're playing Washington twice. They're playing the Raiders next week. They play the Bills as well, but whatever. Let's say they go 3-1. They're going to win 3 of their next 4 games. They're going to win the division. They're going to end up being the 3 seed. The Chargers lose this game, and then suddenly they're fighting for their playoff lives. Like, for real. Like, they're hanging on right now. As we speak right now, they're the 6th seed. They're 8-4, but the Texans are now 8-5. The Colts are 8-5. So the Chargers would fall to 8-5. Fortunately for them, Baltimore is 6-7. So it would really be a 3-team race between the Colts, the Chargers, and the Texans. And the Colts don't have a quarterback anymore.
Nobody bats 300 anymore.
Can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from three. He is a career 43.3% shooter from three-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
And off we go to overtime. The Philadelphia Eagles kick the football off to the Chargers. So the Chargers get the ball first here in OT. A touchdown would win the football game. Field goal obviously would keep it rolling. We play 10 minutes right now. I was going to say, like, all right, what happens if this game ends up in a tie? Which we did have that tie this year. We were on for that one, too. That's what I said. That was the one. The Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. That was the one. We were on for the tie earlier this year on primetime.
Now, I was saying if the Chargers score a touchdown, the Eagles have a chance to match the touchdown.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. It never happens, though, Cam. Has it ever happened where both teams score the touchdown?
Jacksonville and Raiders this year, but they went for 2 and didn't get it. Was something happened where both teams scored. I think it was
Did
that
it happen
game.
in the Jacksonville where you got 12 points in overtime?
Yeah, they did. They did.
I got screwed once in a CFL.
And then Jacksonville scored.
I got screwed once in a CFL game years ago in overtime where the first team scored and then the other team threw a pick 6. And I ended up losing the game by 13 in overtime. It's the only time it's ever happened to me in my life. And as somebody who's an overbetter, a million times it's gone to overtime. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we can get like multiple scores here in overtime. It never happens. The Chargers are on fire here in overtime. They're running the ball down the Eagles' throat. And now they're on the Eagles' 40-yard line, just like that.
Yep. I'll tell you, man, the Eagles, the way they played this game and just many opportunities. But you said it, Gabe. This Justin Herbert and this Chargers team, they're showing guts galore tonight. Whatever happens, this guy, he's a warrior playing. You're right. Massive, massive run. Like, I don't know. The Eagles they're already in Dicker's field goal range. This guy's got a monster leg.
This was great. It's great play calling right now by Harbaugh and his team and his staff here. In that wear the Eagles out. You can't throw the ball on the Eagles. The Eagles have been terrorizing Herbert. Every time they drop back to pass, Herbert's running for his life. So let's start over and run the ball, and it's worked. It's caught the Eagles off guard. They're running the ball right up the middle on them right now. So 19-19, 8 minutes into overtime here. They only played 10 minutes, which I never really understood. Just play another quarter. Like, would avoid the tie like we had with the Green Bay and the Dallas game earlier. But as far as props are concerned and fantasy football is concerned and DFS, like all this is just a bonus for people. Except I don't have any Charger props personally. You know what? I liked Herbert rushing yard prop tonight, and I didn't play it. And let me see as far as in-game is concerned. The only Charger-related props I have. Oh, that's not true. I actually have I have Hampton. I forgot. I bet Hampton earlier in the game. See, I bet so many props here. And he's gone over the number. We talked about it with Kiev O'Neill earlier in the game. He said he bet on Hampton over 43.5 before the game started. I told him, it actually went down to 38.5, and I didn't bet it. I was going to bet it. In fact, I even was going to submit it for graphics earlier in the day. I even typed it up and everything. Hampton over rush yards. Then I was like, they're splitting carries and stuff. Let me see. I'll see in game. So I got lucky. I still betted it over 48.5, and he's at 56 right now. And I got Justin Herbert over 193.5 passing yards, but he's just not throwing the ball anymore. He's been stuck in the 130s for like the last half hour. He's still at 139. And the Eagles defense get a stop here, so they're going to have to attempt the field goal here.
It's a long one, but Dicker, it's in his range for sure. What are we talking, 54?
Yeah, 54-yard field goal attempt for Dicker. 77% from 50 yards or more. The kick is up, and it looks to be good. All right, so it's 22-19 right now. And suddenly this game has gone, depending on when you bet it. It closed at 42. Right, it was 41, 41.5. It ended up closing at 42 when it was all said and done. So you're still a little bit short, right? We're still at 41 right now. You could, maybe some people, it's right on the number here. So there's still a lot of stake as far as the total is concerned, whether the Philadelphia Eagles do anything with the football now with 6:24 left. I just can't believe that Justin Herbert and the Chargers have gotten the ball twice in basically must-score situations, 2 times in a row, the length of the field, right? They got the ball back. They needed to kick a field goal to tie the football game. They get the ball to start off overtime. You figure that somehow I would get more than 7 yards passing. On these last two drives, they have 7 yards passing. We're at 132. This is unheard of. Like normally on a drive, a quarterback gets 40, 50 yards, just like automatically. A couple of dump-offs turns into something unbelievable. Like they're not throwing the football anymore. And I'm not even sure they're going to get the football back again. So Herbert could end up at 139 yards, 12 of 26. The box score is ugly for Herbert, but let's remember he's playing with a broken hand, and he has rushed the ball 10 times for 66 yards. Right, he's their leading rusher. He's carried this team on his back here tonight. He's running for his life. He's been sacked 7, 8 times. Like I said, it's hard to keep up with how many times he's been sacked. He's been sacked 7 times so far tonight. You look at Jalen Hurts. Hurts has been sacked once only. Right, Hurts is just sort of running around and getting rid of the football all the time. But this is it for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is going to have to step up for us. I've got the Eagles on the money line. So a tie for me would be a push, actually. Yes. So, which is kind of, we're getting into this weird starting to think about our bets and how this is going to play out here. My gut feeling, even though I'm on Philadelphia, but I could win the teaser anyways, my gut feeling tells me here that the Eagles are going to get stopped. I think the Chargers stop them here, and Philadelphia does not tie the game. The Chargers.
Yeah, Hurts makes a mistake.
As far as the football gods are concerned, the Chargers kind of deserve this game more than the Eagles do. Like Justin Herbert kind of deserves this win. He's playing with a broken hand. He's been murdered. The last couple of drives, he's put this team on his back. He's just, get out of my way. I'm going to run with the football here, do whatever it takes to win the football game. So to me, I kind of feel I'm going to feel bad for Herbert if they don't win, but the football gods are often cruel, right? So we'll see right now. They gave the ball to Saquon Barkley here on first down. We'll see what they do here, Cam.
Yeah, I'd like to see Saquon bust one. I could tell you that. You're right, Gabe. But the way the way Herbert played tonight, that's an absolute warrior. The thing is, he could throw the ball if he could. Like, his hand must be screwed. Like, it's absolutely brutal. He's taking off. He's doing all sorts of cool things. What are we looking at here? 3rd and 6 for Philadelphia? I'm not even sure they can get a first down. Like, these guys are, wow, what can you say? Thought they would take care of business in regulation. Mm-hmm.
They ran the ball on first down with Barkley. They picked up 4 yards. I would have just ran the ball again, right? Time isn't really an issue. Like, you've got 5.5 minutes, like, whatever. You need a field goal, you end a tie, whatever. You can control the end of the game, basically. So time isn't the factor here. Scoring is the factor. By throwing the football on 2nd down, now you kind of force yourself having to throw the football on 3rd down here. And if it doesn't work, you're going to have no choice but to throw the ball on 4th down. Jalen Hurts runs. Oh, boy, we bet on the Jalen Hurts rushing yard prop. Jalen Hurts just pops one, but now you're in big trouble. Looks like there's a holding penalty against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now they're going to be in like a 3rd and 16. You know what I mean? Like, you ran the ball on first down. Everything was fine. You picked up 4 yards. 5.5 minutes left in the game. 6 minutes left in the game. There's no panic. Just run the ball with Barkley. Figure it out. The only thing that's ever worked for you tonight is Saquon Barkley. And instead, you decide to throw the ball on 2nd down. Jalen Hurts is nowhere near an open A.J. Brown on it. 3rd down, it breaks down. He scrambles, and now it comes back. Now you're in the 3rd and 16. Nightmare for the Eagles.
Take a look at it, you say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like, this year we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Splash Brothers? How about the Curry Brothers? Curry Brothers have been reunited, folks, as Seth Curry has signed for the rest of the year, according to Shams Charania. This is a good sign for a Warriors team for what they need off the bench. Coming off a career year where he shot 45.6% from 3. He is a career 43.3% shooter from 3-point range.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
You've got an 18-1-6 hockey team. You've got a 10-2 football team. So the best record in hockey, the best record in football, and top 5 in the NBA with Jokic and the gang, and the Nuggets at 14-6. And I'm saying to myself, what other town comes close to that?
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Chris Beard said, I can just play different players. And kudos to Chris Beard. NIL does not matter. Recruiting rankings don't matter. Who your AAU coaches doesn't matter. At the end of the day as a coach, your loyalty is to your school. Your loyalty is to all the kids in the program.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
I don't know what the hell the Philadelphia Eagles are doing now. Like, wow. Seriously. It's 3rd and 4. The Eagles are on like the 4. What are they on? The 42? Like, it's a long-ass field goal right now. Like, it's like a 58, 59-yard field goal. And they decide to go deep. They threw a bomb to A.J. Brown. It didn't work. It looked like he got held up a little bit, but whatever. They kind of collided. Either way, we're in a 4th and 4 situation right now. The game is on the line for the Philadelphia Eagles. And once again, the Eagles brought this upon themselves with their bad play calling. time is not a factor, guys. Like, why would you throw a bomb? Like, well, you don't
Exactly.
You think you're going to catch the Chargers off guard? The Chargers' strength of their football team is their secondary. Everybody, like, the Chargers are, like, literally the hardest team to throw the football. I'm in Texas. Like, you can't throw the ball in the Chargers. You can run the ball in the Chargers, but you can't throw the ball. So Saquon Barkley keeps on getting the ball and being successful, and then they keep on, it's like Saquon gets them a first down, and then they start throwing the ball again, and it gets them out of sequence, right? They were lucky they picked up the first down on a 3rd and 16, and they didn't learn their lesson. They start throwing the football again. And then, I don't know, if you're going to throw it, just do these quick dink and dunk, like, just get rid of it quickly and let the guys do yards after the catch stuff. Instead, now you put yourself in where the game is on the line here on a 4th and 4. It's all or nothing, and you can't make it up. The Philadelphia Eagles just got a false start. Jalen Hurts is pointing at the Chargers, but it looks like if this is on the Chargers, then it's a first down. Yep. This changes everything, and it's correct. On the Chargers.
Wow. So, wow, 5 encroachment for 5 yards. What a way to get bailed out. Wow. That's crazy, Morency. I don't know what to say.
You know what? Seeing the replay here right now, everybody moved. Buddy Owe on the Chargers fell for Goddard in motion. Mm-hmm. Goddard started to go in motion, and Buddy on the Chargers sort of flinched and kind of jumped when Goddard ran past him across on the other side of the line. Buddy on the Eagles was smart to jump too, because he otherwise Buddy would have jumped back and been safe. But man, the Eagles get bailed out, and what do? They throw the ball on first down again. They just don't. They don't this team. They're gonna whatever happens here. The Eagles aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. I'll tell you that. Not with this play calling. They just can't. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They just risked, dude, this is barely caught. Goddard's racking up some yards here, though. But they barely caught it. Hurts just threw this. He's throwing it in the traffic all the time. And you just did this to pick up 3 yards. So between the potential holding penalty, an interception, tip ball, what is safer? To give the ball to Saquon Barkley to get 3 yards, or to throw it to Goddard in traffic for 3 yards? Right, and now they throw the ball again to Goddard again, but they get a nice little chunk here. They're definitely in field goal range. Yeah, he is. Goddard's the Hurts keeps on going to him here right now. So they're inside the 20-yard line right now. They got a first down. They'll be gunning for the touchdown here. For the love of God, now is the time to give the ball to Saquon Barkley.
Please.
You're on the 16-yard line. And do it for our boy Vinny here that's dying here and needs one more Saquon touchdown on the way out.
Vinny's on fantasy football purgatory. He needs a Saquon Barkley touchdown.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So they get a first down. Everything is in play. And they dance with the devil. They tempt fate. They throw the ball into the end zone, and it gets intercepted. Really?
Yep, that's it.
Are you, seriously, Jalen? And the Eagles, the play calling? You guys deserve to lose. Like I said this a couple of minutes ago. I had the Eagles. I would just win the tease or two, but whatever. They deserve to lose this game. Saquon Barkley looks disgusted right now. You get a first down. You're on the 16-yard line. You got Barkley on the field. Just give the ball to Saquon Barkley a couple of times in a row. You got 2.5 minutes left. You win the football game. You score a touchdown. Or if you're going to throw it, just do your little dump-off stuff, right? But no, let's have Jalen roll out and throw it into the end zone here when we have no reason to. They faked the handoff to Barkley, and like I said, a tip ball. So Jalen Hurts kind of lobbed it down the field. Ball got tipped up in the air by a Charger and then deflected. And another thing is, too, you're going to Johan Dotson. So the game's on the line, and that's your play. You're going to go to Dotson and not Barkley or not A.J. Brown or not Devontae Smith. Wow.
This team is a train wreck.
They deserve to lose this game. They deserve to lose. The football gods, Sirianni and the coaching staff here, man, if they threw rocks before, this guy better have security in his house now. But Sirianni's the one, really in doing this here. Unbelievable. That I cannot believe that they threw another interception to end the game. Like, how many times would Sirianni need to, like, screw this up before he would realize, you know what, maybe, we should just run the ball now. You got lucky. Like, they threw the ball to Goddard. He was open. The problem is now you're in a tighter space. You know what I mean? Like, now is the time. It was a great drive, Cam. They got down to the 16-yard line.
Yeah,
now it's pretty simple.
away.
Give the ball to Saquon Barkley now. Let him run the ball. We'll score a touchdown. We'll win the football game.
I don't know if
First
team
down,
goes to,
they
like,
throw it
yeah.
towards the end zone for whatever reason. Like, why?
Barkley, 20 for 122, averaging over 6 yards a carry and a touchdown. Hurts, 21 for 40, Gabe. Zero touchdowns, 4 picks. You're in this game. Like, you gave that game away. It's just like, hey, Chargers win, but the Eagles are their own worst enemy. You said it. The play calling's atrocious. Just brutal. Like, they just gave it away. It was right there for the taking.
Really, just
Unreal.
That's just unforgivable. Like the Philadelphia Eagles, they did everything possible not to win this football game, and the Chargers still put it on a platter for them, right? The Chargers didn't, they never really delivered a knockout punch. But when it's all said and done, the Chargers win the football game. Stays under the number, Chargers win. All right, we hope everybody enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time for the NBA Cup tomorrow night. So the action continues. You have the Orlando Magic and the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors